Right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, hello, wherever you happen to be. My name is Paul. I'm probably better known for the daily teasers. You'll see those floating past. But I also talk about films I've watched and enjoyed. I've seen Colour Out of Space just recently. And I also talk about TV shows. I've just recently started watching quite a few different shows. And today I've caught the first two episodes of the classic Doctor Who fourth season series, The Faceless Ones. Let me try and summarise if I can. Episode 1 sees the TARDIS and its crew, the Doctor, Polly, Ben and Jamie, played respectively by Patrick Troughton, Annika Wills, Michael Craze and Fraser Hines, arriving at Gatwick Airport and almost getting hit by a plane that's trying to land. They get chased off and split up, only for Polly, on her own, trapped in the offices of a very suspicious company called Chameleon Tours, witness vile bloody murder. Not knowing that after she's understandably fled the scene, not knowing that someone or something is going to get taken to Gatwick's medical centre. Episode 2 opens with the thing in the medical centre being hooked up to a human being and taking on that human's identity, appearance, and memory. Meanwhile, the Doctor and Jamie are brought before Gatwick's commandant, Colin Goulden, number 2 in a couple of episodes of The Prisoner, and during his questioning of the pair, the commandant introduces them to Polly, apparently. A Polly who recognises neither the Doctor nor Jamie and claims to be called Michelle and claims not to recognise them. All very strange there. Once they're let loose, the Doctor and Jamie meet up with Ben and arrange to investigate separate parts of the mystery. The Doctor will try and convince the Commandant of what's happening, Ben will check out the Chameleon office, and Jamie will keep an eye on the Chameleon check-in booth, where a very familiar figure is helping Sam Briggs, Pauline Collins, to try and find her missing brother. Now, what did I make of this? Let's get some of the technical stuff out of the way. The version I'm watching is from the cheaper Blu-ray version of the re-release. It's got 3 different versions of the story on there. It's got a completely animated black and white reconstruction. It's got a completely animated colour reconstruction. And it's got a version made from the 2 surviving TV broadcast episodes, 1 and 3, plus episodes 2, 4, 5 and 6, which are reconstructed from telesnaps, the old publicity shots. I'm watching the colour version because to me that seems the better looking version. The black and white version's equally as good, it's just I personally prefer the colour version. As you may or may not know, The Faceless Ones is one of many reconstructed Doctor Who stories. The BBC back in the 60s and 70s used to wipe a lot of stories because at the time they didn't see the value in keeping them, as there was no way of selling them to home viewers. There was no aftermarket or no video market that we know today. That really only started with VHF in the mid to late 80s. So that's the version I'm watching. I'm watching the colour animation version. There's a couple of extras as well on this version. There's a load of the stock footage and a documentary. I suspect there may be more on the Steelbook edition. Like I say, I've been watching the colourised animated version and it is fantastic looking as is ever. I think the animators that are behind these recent versions have done this, they've done the Power of the Daleks, they've done the Macra Terror, and they did Shada as well a couple of years ago. They've had a while to perfect the art, and that certainly shows on screen. What we're getting here is very good looking. The sound quality, and I mentioned this in my post last year about the Macra Terror, the sound quality is good. It's not perfect because they've had to reconstruct the audio from off-air recordings where fans at the time, in the 60s, recorded the audio to audio cassette because, of course, nobody had a video recorder back in the 1960s, or no one at home did at any rate. So they've recorded it, they've sourced the audio from those off-air recordings. It's perfectly acceptable because the crew that have done the audio cleanup have done a very good job of it. It does notice, to me, the audio sounds tinny and slightly echoey in parts. Perfectly acceptable. It's close enough for jazz. It's just something I notice. It's you can hear there's a gap between the TV speaker and the microphone. There's about that much gap between the two. Given that, am I enjoying it? Yes, I am. I'm 2 episodes in. I felt that watching 2 episodes at a time would give me enough time to write about and record a video about what I'm seeing and give me something like the original viewing experience. Back in the day, you would see this 1 episode at a time. These days, I'm watching it 2 at a time. Given that, I'm still getting a very good cliffhanger experience, I think. What I'm seeing here is a very good, very interesting little mystery. We don't know what the aliens are up to yet. We don't know if the police are going to find the missing undercover officer. We don't know if the commandant's going to end up believing the doctor's story. Given that, even that, we also don't know what the aliens are doing. We can suspect, because we've seen in the cliffhanger from episode 1 to 2, that they're stealing people's identities, but we don't know why just yet. I'm looking forward to finding out, and as soon as I do, I'll let you know. Subscribe to my channel. As soon as I get to find out, you'll get to hear as well. Now, I'll thank you for watching. I'll let you get off. Keep your eyes out for the Easter eggs, and I'll see you next time. Take care now.